we did have a romance. It started off well, as it always does. But eventually, when the kids became another integral part of the relationship, in my eye, or my feeling at one point is I was starting to fade away. What I needed to understand, I didn't understand at the time, is they've been with her longer than me.
True. They will always have that over you.
Absolutely.
Which is a weird thing to say out loud, but there's a certain timeline that you can never break, and they will forever been with their mother longer than you have been with her. So she was mine first. You can't win that argument.
Exactly.
So, and that's a good argument to have, because that means that the relationship's good enough to where they can poke fun at you for something like that.
Yeah. And the thing is
she loved me first.
That's it.
I tell that to my son. Like, mom loved me before she loved you.
And
I'm right.
You are 100%.
So I'll hang that over his head. I will never have the relationship that he has with his mom. It'll be impossible. But I have to figure out a way to make sure that his relationship with his mom is going to evolve very easily. I think in my head, I think it has to with a mother and a child. I think with a dad, it takes a lot of dad work to make sure that those relationships evolve.
Welcome to the New Dad Order Podcast, brought to you by Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors. If you're in need of financial advice and or retirement planning, with 12 locations from here in Hammond, Louisiana, all the way over to Florida, they are the ones to go to. If you need to get in contact with them, check out the description below. They have all their contact information. My name is Ray. You got Parfait over there.
How's it going, everybody? Ray, how are you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Always.
It's a great month.
It is. Spring is approaching, which means Louisiana could be summer or the second bout of winter. So we're done talking about the weather.
Very true.
But no, spring is great though. Spring is great because that should be. I saw. Oh gosh, I mean, I'm sure it was like just mindlessly scrolling, but it was something like the true calendar should start in spring and not in December in the heart of winter. Or January, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where new life starts.
Mm-hmm.
Everything blooms, everything comes back to life in spring.
Somebody messed that up, though.
So we should have had the first of the year.
There was a king back in the day that messed that up.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's either that or there's 13 months. Or there's supposed to be 13 months. One of the two. But I think somebody messed that up. They decided, I'm the ruler. This is what we're going to do. Yeah,
our calendar makes no sense, really.
I've heard that before.
No, it really doesn't. Why would you not like as equal number of days as possible in each month?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a really good answer for it. I don't know it, but just to me, if you have
like this month, why does it have so few days?
I mean, yeah, well, it's just got the least amount. Doesn't necessarily. It's got 2 less than most.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know. Can't we just take one from
another
January or March?
Yeah.
They both have 31 days.
Yeah.
Did you ever, like everybody has their way to remember what months have 31 days? Do you have your way of remembering?
I don't until I look at the month.
Oh, mine was knuckle. So like if you're on your knuckle, it's 31 days. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, I don't know who showed me that, but that's how.
That is pretty good.
I mean, it's not really that good. I'm not a genius, but yeah.
What is that?
It was this day or this many days
This
older.
Many days older, this many years older, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, 54 when I discovered that.
That right there?
Yeah, I've never seen that, never heard of that before.
See, now you can, someone say, hey, how many days in that month? And real quick before we get started, guys, Thursday. Thursday is the thing that I have relied on over the last 8 months to get me back into recovery and get a good night's sleep. It doesn't have melatonin. It has everything your body needs to get back to recovery, to get a good workout in. Use the promo code NDOZZZ to get a discounted checkout. All right, so even though that the first of the year is not springtime like it should be, in my opinion, it's almost like we're coming out of a state of hibernation whenever we go through the winter and those short days. And a state of hibernation sometimes is what you could feel like as a dad. And what I mean by that is you may feel a little bit invisible, like you're not always as present as what you should be. And there's certain aspects of life that may make you feel that way, whether it be something to do with family or work, or other things in your personal life where you start to just kind of feel like you're existing, but you're not really there. Ray, are there any things or any point in times in your life where you may have felt like you were, one of those dads that was just a little bit invisible, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I came into a ready-made family
It's a very valid point.
with my wife. So she had 3 already, and we do have 4 now. So when I came into that situation, we did have a romance. It started off well, as it always does. But eventually, when the kids became another integral part of the relationship, in my eye, or my feeling at one point, is I was starting to fade away.
Gotcha.
Because she was really, now that she had a stable environment with me being there and the financial aspect, she was really deep diving into the kids. Because we got our oldest, we'd get him every other weekend. The 2, and of course, the 2 in the middle were going to school. So it was really, I wasn't dad just yet.
Well, and I think kind of what you're getting at too is you said there was obviously a romance, and that you were something new for her in her life that she hadn't had of feeling that love, and then now you're in it, like you fell in love, and you two are together. Well, guess what, Ray? I loved falling in love with you, but these kids are my life and depend on me for everything, and I need you to be a part of that, realizing that you're not going to be. She was new to you.
So, yep, she was. I was new to her. We figured out us, but we hadn't figured out all of us.
Yeah.
Right. So we hadn't figured out what my role with the 3 kids. We were still walking through that, and sometimes I had to take a back seat.
Makes sense. So I guess that's your sense of going into a state of almost invisible, in the sense of not knowing what boundaries you could and couldn't cross as far as the role of dad right away.
Of stepdad.
Yeah.
If stepdad, do I jump in and discipline? There were so many questions. If something happened with one of the kids, she grabbed them. She handled it. And it wasn't, so it was, for me, it was like, until we figured it out.
How long did that take?
I can't remember, but it didn't take years.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't take years.
I think that comes from a level-headed thinking and being able to apply emotion at the right points in time if it didn't take this extended period of time. I think a lot of people can struggle with it for a long time. They're trying to find their place in that role. I think one thing that plays into it is from a step-parent role is how cool are you? And different levels of coolness. You want them to respect you. You want them to like you. You're trying to establish a relationship, but yet you know that if someone was coming in and dating your mom, your guard's going to be up. Like, who are you? Like, what are you about? And you're trying to win them over without letting them walk all over you. I imagine you had to go through some of that, especially with some teenagers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was some eggshell walk. It was just one. One of them, the oldest, was a teenager. Was he a teenager or was he 12? He's either 12. He was preteen, teen. I won him over with a big remote control car for his birthday. Right, one of those expensive cars. No, it was more for all 3. Honestly, it was more communication. It was just talking to him, listening to him. That's what got me, especially with the oldest. And then, oh, no. Now I remember what it was. I borrowed my buddy's Xbox, and I taught my oldest how to play Call of Duty 3. I think it was Call of Duty 3, and he's been stuck.
Y'all still game together? Huh?
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah. So that was, to say a bonding moment would be an understatement, because it was the foundation of you guys' relationship, really.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, today you bond over it. Back then, it was, oddly enough, a foundation moment.
It was. Now that I think about it, yeah, it was. But no, I think also for me, when it comes to being invisible, it was seeing how much more appreciated I thought at the time that my wife was to the kids. And what I needed to understand, I didn't understand at the time, is they've been with her longer than me.
True. They will always have that over you.
Absolutely.
Which is a weird thing to say out loud, but there's a certain timeline that you can never break, and they will forever been with their mother longer than you have been with her. So she was mine first. You can't win that argument.
Exactly.
So, and that's a good argument to have because that means that the relationship's good enough to where they can poke fun at you for something like that.
Yeah. And the thing is
she loved me first.
That's it.
I tell that to my son. Like, mom loved me before she loved you.
And
I'm right.
You are 100%.
So I'll hang that over his head. But I do feel that there's a certain level of being, invisible. That's going to be the term that we use whenever we discuss this, that you start to fall into a role. And whenever you fall into that role, maybe you lose some of your identity, and you're only there to provide things. You're only there to fix things, and whenever it starts to be that you don't, like, am I bringing anything to the table for myself as a dad here, or am I strictly just this? Do I have any of those bonding moments? And I think you could get stuck in your own thoughts and start to feel like that is it, like that is your sole purpose, just to provide, protect, and that's a great role, but there is more to fatherhood than just doing those things. There's teaching moments, there's experiences, there's laughs, there's cries, there's hugs. It's not just providing and protecting. There's a certain level of connection that you have to find with each kid that you have, or even if it's just a kid, just finding certain levels to connect and continue to mature that relationship as well, and not lose connection. You and your son bonded over Call of Duty whenever he was a preteen, and yet now he's a grown man, and you guys can still do that, which means that it's not just fire up the Xbox and talk trash to dad. It's we can have relationships and conversations about so many other things, but that's going to be whenever we cut loose and we don't have to think anymore. Whenever y'all get online and play. And I think that's that part where you have to continue as a dad, make your relationships evolve in the house.
100%. I think the other part of sometimes we may feel invisible is just that we're looked at as, not being the emotional beings that mom is.
Yes.
And I think.
Yeah, there's a reason why the term is, like a mama's boy or whatever. It's
right.
You go to mom whenever you're hurt. That's what every kid asks for. Where's mom? Where's mom? Whenever they're sick.
When a guy gets knocked out, they yell mama. You
start to feel a lack of need, which can make you feel invisible. When your kids are sick, when they're hurt, they want their mother. But hell, man. I mean, whenever I'm sick, I want her to take care of me too.
100%. Yeah. I heard this before. When we're supposed to be strong. When we're supposed to be strong, we stay silent. I think there's a couple of things that we do, and I know you do it too, especially when we go to restaurants. We got the family. They're enjoying themselves. They're not thinking about anything else. Not us.
No, never.
We're scanning. We're checking. We're sitting in the appropriate. We've talked about.
Yes,
it
we have.
We've talked about it.
No, it's true. It's the guard is never truly down in a good way. But that is also something that we start to get labeled with roles that society puts on us, and the dad is supposed to, not be overly emotional, right? And provide and tough, and those are certain things that society has always labeled with. And I think that now society is almost trying to guilt dads for doing those things. I think dads were evolving into being able to wear all the different hats and start to have all these emotions, and then it turned the corner of you're soft.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys really did get soft too. Now there's a pushback to it, at least in the stuff that I see, of we need to have a little more alpha dad in us. And with the good thing is that I think the foundation is laid that we know it's okay to approach our wife about certain things, to hug, to shed a tear. I think we've gotten to the point where we know that it's okay to do that, because when you're secure with the dad that you are and the man that you are, you will always come back to that alpha role, and being able to transition back and forth and understand that throttle is better, to where I think we grew up in households where dads did not have that throttle to go back and forth. I think all emotion was hidden in the house.
Yeah.
You know?
Very, very true. I think today also with being able to show your emotions, I think you have to be strong enough in one, yourself, and two, your relationship. Because there was a time where, I still, even today, I'm just, I think I overachieved when I got my wife.
Oh, like you outkicked your coverage, right?
I'll kick my coverage, yeah. I think, and early in the relationship, there was a lot of self-doubt, which also didn't help with this feeling of being invisible, right? So there was some of that, but I had to fight it back and forth, and of course, a little bit of faith helped me out as well. But there's a lot of that also involved, where I thought I did outkick my coverage, and
You start to question your own worth to your wife.
yes,
Meanwhile, she sees you as the provider, the protector, and and those traditional roles that that men have. She already saw you as that.
I believe so. And the other part of that, especially early in the relationship, is I didn't want to talk about it too much because I didn't want to come off as soft. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like, hey, honey, look, can we talk about? I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. But eventually, now this part did take years. This part did take some patience and some inner usao, meditation or what have you. It did take some time to go, you know what? I'm not invisible.
That's and that's where I was about to go and ask you. Like, what point did you stop feeling that way? And obviously, it was after years of understanding. Understanding a role, as crazy as it sounds, and not wanting to, dumb it down to our role as a husband or as a father, but
Right.
you provide a significant role within your household, no matter what it may be. I mean, it could be your whether you be the breadwinner or not. You may not be. It doesn't devalue anything that's brought together in the connection and the relationship that has, to truly make a strong family. And you being able to understand that it was going to take years to have different conversations with your wife. Well, I don't know if you necessarily understood it was going to take years to have it, but it took years to have
exactly.
it. Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh,
I need to cry to you. That wasn't necessarily
yeah.
either.
Well, yeah, it wasn't that, or I was depressed. I wasn't depressed.
Do you think you had some type of, and I'm asking this because I think stepfather role, was there any type of, did you feel any kind of resentment? Like quietly, not, was there some type of resentment at times where you thought, and I don't know if she really loves me. Like, I know she loves me, but like, how much does she? Because it seems like
in the beginning, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think new dads can go through this as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think new dads definitely go through this, where the focus, because our wife just brought life into this world through the grace of God, and now, hey man, like, they need me more than you will ever need me for like on a day-to-day basis until they're self-sufficient, which I think is like 28 now. And so from the dad perspective, I was fortunate enough to have a very, very strong sister. Right, lost my mom at a really young age. Very fortunate to have a very strong sister that is strong-willed, completely could do anything on her own if she has to get it done. She owns any room that she walks into. And I have seen that personality. I learned more about being an alpha through watching my sister than I did watching my dad. I'll put it to you that way.
Outstanding.
And so
it does happen.
So there was a certain level of respect that I went into any relationship with, and it was no different than whenever I met Carolyn, where what she does will never be discounted in any way whatsoever. I will never be threatened by her, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I would never be threatened by her because I want to be her biggest cheerleader, and I'm okay with that. And I think some guys could start to feel invisible if career paths start to take different ways, or some guys who want their wife to only be at home. I don't want you working. And it's just, well, some women enjoy working, And
no, I was that guy too.
Were you?
Like, I think I'm in a place where you don't have to work. And she didn't for a while, but she wanted to badly. She wanted to be a teacher. I said, all right, Go figure it out. Let's go figure it out. Let's get it done. Supported that. Now she's been a teacher for the last 7 to 10 years now. You know, it just, and that's what I wanted to say. Yes, I wanted to be her biggest cheerleader. You know, I've heard, but no, I love being the cheerleader for my wife as well. You know, whatever she wants to do. Yeah, would I prefer her to be a stay-at-home mom? I got her to do that for at least 5 years with our youngest.
Yeah, so she basically went to school.
Yes, and then when she went to school, my wife was a teacher, and she was stuck to her hip. Yeah. After preschool, she was stuck on her hip, and she went to the school that my wife taught at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome actually. Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's definitely some some quiet resentments that like dads can have that you definitely have to work through, and not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily a conversation that you can even have. I think some of these are just some internal dialogue that you have to work through.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not going to be a conversation that you have with your spouse.
So
it's some honest moments.
Have you ever felt that way?
Meaning, like
invisible in your situation. And this is you got.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever felt invisible. Right. I think that there were moments where I felt like I needed to make sure that my role evolved. Okay. And what I mean by that is I think we were dating, then we got engaged, and then we got married, and then we were living life, and then we had a kid. Right. So throughout all those stages, the relationship was different. And then whenever I became a dad, I think it was like, hey, I got to figure this out because things change on such a quick schedule with a kid. You know, from they're only an infant for so long, they're only a toddler for so long, they're only, they're only these small windows, and I refused to watch. Right, like I knew that. So my honest reflection moments, and what I mean by I refuse to watch, and I'm not saying that guys sit back and watch, or guy. I think everybody thinks that they have some type of involvement with their kids. At least the guys that I know, but there are a lot of guys where they don't know how to find their place and what's going on a day-to-day basis.
All right.
And I had to have those conversations with myself of how do I increase my role with my son to where he is not always just dependent on mom. So what can I find to do those connections, whatever it may be, whether it be through sport, whether it be through whatever, it did not matter. Like some type of way to make sure that I will never have the relationship that he has with his mom. It'll be impossible. But I have to figure out a way to make sure that his relationship with his mom is going to evolve very easily, I think in my head, I think it has to with a mother and a child. I think with a dad, it takes a lot of dad work to make sure that those relationships evolve.
That is so well said. You don't understand. You put into words what I've been thinking. You put it into words. That's why I was like, how did you figure that out? Wow, that's so good. Because that's what I had to figure out. Like with all the different kids. I don't have great relationships with all the kids. Mm-hmm. I have good relationships. They know I'm dad.
Yeah.
But I don't have, like with my youngest and my oldest, it's the best relationships I have.
Well, if you lied to yourself and said that the relationships with all of them were great, then you would have no desire to work towards making those better.
And I do, just for example, just real quick, like my second oldest son works, but sometimes we have to pick him up, take him home.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the 10 to 15 minutes of joy that I get. He's 24 now. And it's 15 minutes of joy that I get to hang out with him during that time. We don't call each other. We might text each other every now and then, but yeah. He's sitting right next to me.
We're locked in. This conversation is going to happen whether you want it to or not.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that's been developing, like we talk about work, because we work for the same company, but different locations.
Yeah. So you might as well not even be working for the same company type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been great. It's been great. So yeah, you put into words what I've always thought, and I'm just happy that my visibility to him, I thought, I've been becoming visible. If that makes sense.
Well, it's being able to recognize that that's where the relationship went through and where it's at,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's clarity. I mean, invisibility, obviously you weren't invisible, but there was definitely some lack of clarity on the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you get older, you start to put things in perspective. And we've talked about that before, but especially I think in a step parent role, that the older you get, you start to really put the pieces together of what that person did for you growing up, or what they didn't do for you growing up.
Well, now they're my kids because I adopted them, but yeah, before that, though.
No,
yeah.
I'm just talking in general.
Yeah,
I dealt with the step parent situation where.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
and it's weird. It's a weird thing because as I've gotten older, I've started to realize different things, and some good, some bad. But I mean, we're human, so you can't expect the parent to be perfect, especially whenever they were put in a situation that they had a family they weren't necessarily looking for.
Yeah.
And so their imperfections are going to come through. But I mean, even in a step parent situation, even in a blood situation, I'm pretty sure your kids are going to be aggravated with you one way or another. So that's never going to change.
Oh yeah.
So those moments are always going to happen. So there's never any doubt about that.
So yeah, your piece of advice about developing that relationship with your son, it's something that I've had to do myself. I couldn't put into words, and you put it into words, which is pretty awesome. They're going to have that relationship with the mother, and they always will. I mean, she birthed them. So we as dads, I think you put it this way: we as dads have to continue to evolve our relationship with our son or daughter or whomever it may be. We need to continue to develop that relationship as they grow and as we grow too. Obviously, right?
Yeah, we're going to need them as we get older. So those foundations of that relationship have to continue to evolve and grow, and it takes a lot of personal reflection to get that to continue the trend in the direction that creates a strong, healthy family, and hopefully grandkids and great grandkids one day that we'll all see. But no, I think it's important to know that dads can feel invisible, but knowing that there's a path to bringing it all back. And a lot of times it takes the support of your family and understanding and being comfortable in your own skin. And those are not things that come easy. Those are things that have to be worked on. And those are things that we do on a daily basis. We work on our faith on a daily basis. We work on our family. We work on personal growth, whatever it may be. But in the end, the foundations that we set for our kids are the things that we hope that they pass along to their kids as well. And if we could do that, then you know what? Then the world will probably be a better place, and they'll probably have a few more hugs that go around this world, and a few more handshakes, and I don't know, maybe world peace, right? No, probably not. No. But anyways, we appreciate everybody for joining us. Make sure you drop a comment below, hit the like button, subscribe button, follow us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast at. And until next time, we'll see you on
New Dad Order.